which is also really important. That's it for the introduction. I think Anis is actually with us already. So we are going to make our way, guys, to Belgium, more precisely to Brussels, to chat with Anis Bedda, who is the co-founder of Transforma bxl. Hi, Anis.
Hi, how are you doing? You hear me well?
Good, and you? I hear you
Great, doing
perfectly.
great. We have a sunny day today. It's not
Nice.
it's an exception in
Ah,
Brussels.
really?
This year it has been awful. So today is a beautiful day. So
Nice.
I'm in this room called the Innovation Garden. So looking at the garden outside and having a
Oh,
garden inside.
really nice. Oh, we just lost your camera, I think. And I think we also lost you, or? Yeah, I think maybe when you switch your computer.
Oh, yeah, here.
Ah, here
Yeah,
you are.
yeah. Okay, I'm out.
Okay, thank you. Super happy to have you with us, Anis. Before we dive right into the topic, let me start by asking you, could you introduce yourself? So who are you and what do you do?
Okay, so I'm in my 40s. I'm a father of three. I've been introduced to co-working with Hub Brussels. It was part of the Impact Hub network in 2009, 2010. I started working with them as a consultant, creating events and then managing their events portfolio in general, including meeting rooms and stuff like that. Before that, so I was born and raised in Tunisia. I studied there. Then I started traveling a little bit. Worked a bit in Turkey, worked in Spain, in Toronto, in Canada. Then I found myself in Belgium, which was supposed to be a short break and ended up to be 17 years now, I
Oh,
think.
wow. Okay. A very long break.
Yeah, and so yeah, so I worked in corporate for a long time. I was involved when I was student with AIESEC, so International Organization of Students, exchanging people from different parts of the world to create cultural experiences, meaningful cultural experiences, and understanding between cultures. And then I practiced what I preached for 6 years as a member, and I went traveling around with AIESEC. Then I was a bit done with the corporate life. I tried a bit also to work in a startup, and then I found my calling in creating projects and companies. So I did a few adventures. One of them being Transforma Brussels, which is not only Brussels now. It's only Transforma because we have a also a location in Flanders, which is the region next door. So it's only Transforma. I also was involved in creating conferences and events worldwide around the topic of entrepreneurship. That's another
Mhm.
project I worked on. Created a company called Entrepreneurship Conference. Now it's called Innovators. Still active and working with big corporates on how to implement innovation culture based on bottom-up principles. Also, now my new let's say main interest is on well-being, health, um,
Nice.
like which includes fitness, nutrition, sleep, meditation, all components of health. So I created a digital project called Zendare, which is an app that coach people, let's say, on how to understand first what makes a good living in
Mm-hmm.
terms of health and well-being, and then adopt new healthy practices. And now I'm working on implementing that on a physical level, so not only digital but physical in Transforma, creating a well-being program for our members and also corporate clients basically coaching them on a 360-degree uh, around well-being. And so this will include a fitness location in Transformer,
Mm.
indoors and outdoors. Yeah, functional training space. So no machines, mostly body weight and stuff like that. And bars and barbells and kettlebells, stuff like that. Indoors and outdoors, outdoors including calisthenics, so gymnastics and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. So I've been training
Oh,
to become
nice.
a fitness coach, which I am already actually, and I'm training to get another level, a higher level of coaching. And we'd be working with fitness coaches, nutrition coaches, life coaches, breath coaches, sleep coaches, on how to really change the life of people towards the better. Voilà.
Wow, you're really, that's an extensive, thanks for the introduction, but you're really busy. I'm even more grateful now you
Trying.
can be with us today. So let me, because we are talking about Transforma, let me focus on that one for today. Maybe not that we know
Yeah.
everything you're doing, we can bring you on other events later on. But
Right.
how did you actually end up opening Transforma Brussels? Like, what's the
Mhm.
story behind you opening that space?
Right. So, if for those who are curious, really curious about like how did we did this, I did put it all in writing in our blog in
Ah, okay.
three parts. Um yeah, how we bootstrapped Transform actually. So the genesis of the project and how it crystallized and how it developed and how we now we moved into what we call an innovation playground. So I mentioned earlier Hub Brussels. Back then it was not called Impact Hub yet. It was called the Hub, the international network.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became Impact Hub Brussels. So Impact Hub. Uh, Unfortunately, Hub Brussels closed before, let's say, the development of the network into Impact Hub. In 2012, it closed. So this is when I was acquainted with community-based projects and co-working in general. And then I saw the demise of Hub Brussels and how it didn't succeed as a project, as an entrepreneurial project. So I learned a lot from it, and then I was thinking, why not try to implement what I learned and do it differently? And so back then, with a hub member, we started working on a project like that. Uh, Finally, he started a different project in a different region of Belgium, and I moved forward with starting Transforma as a prototype. So we
Mm-hmm.
started it in an old tennis club that was abandoned, and we had 3,000 euros um, in the company, and so we started the project with those 3,000 euros, really upcycling everything we could find in that tennis club. We kind of like refreshed it in terms of like painting, made it like obviously make it more enjoyable for people like to be around. And we used old furniture around. We collected stuff. We even collected plants, used plants from plant rental companies.
Mm.
And we started there, Transformer. At the same time, we were working on different projects, so there was a balance between income created by different projects. And then we moved to a different location, 2015. That was we opened in March 2014. Then in June 2015, we moved to a different location, more permanent location. And then, yeah, from there, we grew slowly, slowly. We built credibility in the community, but also with banks. So we could
Mm.
borrow money and then create this project that we created like from scratch and from the bottom up, bootstrapping, so very, very low investment levels,
Yeah.
uh, applied to a larger, let's say, yeah, surface in total.
Yeah.
So here, for example, The whole building is 3,000 square meters. We managed 2,600. We used to manage 3,000 because we created a fab lab with the region as well, and we don't manage anymore. Somebody like an independent Fab Lab manager is doing it now. We kind of divested from the management, but it's still a part of, let's say, the complex of Transforma. So now our members have access to the Fab Lab, and we work in close collaboration, but we don't have it, let's say,
Mm.
under management. Voilà, in a nutshell.
And oh, again, that's like thanks for giving such an important overview, because I think also the notion of bootstrapping, it's
Hmm.
important because, as I was saying earlier in the presentation, we feel often when we hear about sustainability, people think it's very difficult and that it requires a lot of things at once. And I think hearing from people that, if from you, for instance, you started gradually, even with the creation of the space beyond sustainability, it's really important. So, and because today we are so focused on sustainability, can you tell us how your own sustainability journey started with Transforma?
Hmm. Yeah, so we started with our effort on sustainability before it became cool, let's say. It became such a because we believed that it was just logical to pay attention to our footprint, whether from let's say an ecological perspective, but also from an economic perspective. Makes a lot of sense to upcycle, for example, uh, furniture to try to create our own furniture from material that we like we use a lot of wood, um, but also when we start a new project, and in a co-working space every little thing is a little project in itself. We see how to control costs and how to reuse material, for example. And also, I don't know, honestly, it was like very totally natural as an impulse. So uh, we are blessed by having a big garden. We implemented also a lot of projects in the garden, like a permaculture project, which is a great community focused project as a link, let's say. So we have a pond, we have a composter, permaculture buds. We have an edible forest as well.
Mm.
And we also with new members that joined the community in January, we created a micro forest, which is I don't
Oh.
want to butcher I don't want to butcher the name. It's I think Miyawaki, I think Miyawaki forest, which
Mm-hmm.
involves planting a lot of trees in a small surface. So I think it's 4 or 5 trees per square meter, and so the trees fight for the light, and so the forest grows very very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we have tons of beehives and stuff like that, which allowed us to receive a certification of an organization in Belgium called Natagora for the biodiversity efforts we do. We have also a certification called Green Key
Mm-hmm.
for hospitality locations, which has like a very very long cahier de charge, so requirements
Yeah.
in order to get the certification. Which, for example, like for our events, we went zero waste. Also, like from a natural impulse, like waste management, trying to reuse as much bottles as possible, and containers that not only are let's say useful but also look good. I personally hate,
Yeah.
for example, using plastic containers or
Yeah.
eating
Yeah. Yeah.
in plastic containers or using wherever. It's not nice. So even from that perspective, it is very natural to offer our guests, our clients, a good experience in that regards. So trying to use
You.
cups and
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
No,
tell
go
me.
for it.
Go ahead. I can. You have to ask me questions because otherwise I can talk for ages. We have tons
Okay.
tons tons of projects. For example, I don't know, water collection. So in everything we do, there is actually, if you look at it, there is an ecological impact.
In
Let's say, for
yeah.
example, here, like
So
I'll show you around
oh, go for it.
just
Yeah.
quickly the outside garden. So I'll show you. This is like a water collection, for example, container for the to
Mm.
water the garden, and you can see another one over there, and the so here from here you can see some of uh, how you call them back to that we're gonna plant
Oh
vegetables in
yeah.
them, and then in the back there is the container, and here there is the composter. We have more than 500 plants indoors,
Oh wow.
like
Okay.
from big plants to small plants. See, for example, here like you have like big plants, small plants. On here you can see the beehives.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
uh, voilà.
Actually, can you maybe explain how did you, because like now you're showing us the outcome, but I guess this was also a journey. So
Yeah.
how did you gradually get into all those different elements, and also maybe where did you educate yourself and where did you find access to those resources to be where you are today?
So what was the first question? First part of the question is
The
how?
first part of the question was really how gradual was that entire process? Like, I imagine you didn't
Yeah.
start with everything at once.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. So uh, again, like everything we do, we try to see what's how can we honestly it's very it's very natural. I don't know. Like there is no planning in terms of oh we have to do it like this way in order to be more sustainable. Some things yes, definitely. But many or most of the things we did were just like logical. Like for example, the water collection systems are very logical. Like we have like a very big roof. And we call like there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of rain in Belgium, so it makes a lot of sense to collect that water in order to water the garden, for example. And then some in some projects, because again I call them projects, little projects. Some projects it was because somebody in the community, for example, had access to that knowledge. For example, with the beehives, first we started with members of the community called biodiversity um, that like install beehives in companies and government buildings and stuff like that. So we started with them. Then we worked with an independent apiculture. What else? But then in everything else, project by project, we try to see like what can be done in that regards. Ideas come, they flow, and at the end of the day, they accumulate. And when I look
Yeah.
around, I see a lot of those projects manifesting indeed.
Did you have a person in charge of this in the team, or was it always a team effort and someone was bringing an idea and you were building guys on it?
Yeah, it was always team effort. A lot of yeah, a lot of the things I came up with a lot of the things just like talking to members, to people, or like seeing some other projects, or just like naturally thinking about things. A lot of suggestions from the community, from uh, service providers as well. Like for example, we had somebody who helps us fix stuff, and then it was like, yeah, I can do the water collection system. Like, yeah, let's do it together and stuff like that. So we talk about it, and then ideas come and flow. Uh, we have somebody in the team taking care of the certification process
Yeah.
because that's a very big, let's say, work. So she did
Yeah.
manage that process. But other than that, we don't have somebody who's just focused on that. It's just natural.
And
It's part of the
what would you,
DNA,
yeah,
if I can
yeah.
say. Yeah.
And what would you say has been challenging for you guys in your sustainability journey?
Um, I'd say the building has been challenging because we're located in an old building that required a lot of work in terms of bringing it to like standards. That's the most challenging part, the facility management part. But here as well, like we're blessed to have existed for 8 9 years now. So the more we go forward in time, the more we add of these initiatives. For example, this year we made sure that most of the lights are controlled by automatic systems, and so not to have to push the light on and off. We're changing the remaining lights that are not in LED, for example, slowly, slowly. That involves a lot of investment. So we do that slowly, slowly as well. Yeah, like time. So if we keep
Yeah.
let's say improving and doing things, also from an economic perspective, it costs us less money to. It's an investment in the beginning to
Mm-hmm.
invest in bulbs, LED bulbs, different systems.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to change the whole system, which costs money. So whenever we have money to invest, we can do that. It's an investment upfront, but then it costs us less money later on. So
And what would be your number one piece of advice to co-working operators watching this today and wanting to start with their own sustainability strategy?
right, I would say make it part of your DNA. So whenever you do, there's- it's another let's say box to tick. Whether it makes sense or not from sustainability perspective. But I see sustainability as a whole. It's not only
Yeah.
ecological footprint. It's the way we deal with things. Sustainability means they last. Lasting.
Yeah.
So we need lasting people. We need lasting organizations. We need lasting ideas. Even though ideas move and change and form and reform, but that's the point. Is like how could we make that experience also like an agreeable and a nice experience? So, for example, working on the garden and creating all these projects in the garden, make it a great experience for our team, for our members, for the visitors. But I think we don't get enough credit for everything we do.
Yeah.
I was I was looking at I don't want to brag or anything, but I was looking a little bit earlier at the descriptions of the um, examples you mentioned. Like if I list all the examples we do here, like it's gonna be like it's gonna fill the whole screen. Uh,
Yeah.
and and we don't even like communicate too much about it. So because we try to do so many things at the same time. For example, we try to build what we call the innovation playground. Uh, we try to build this place where you can experience things and come and experience um, basically your ideas. Let's say you have a
Yeah.
new idea, business idea, or you're like a startup or a small business or whatever. But you can be also a corporate coming just for a team building or whatever. We'll have a different experience anyways. But if you're a small business or an entrepreneur, our objective is to allow you to manage your activity from this place and have access to all the tools you need, right? So this is why we developed all these side projects as well, like a podcast studio, a video studio, a co-warehouse. So a warehouse where
Yeah.
professional warehouse where you can have access to whatever either products or material you need to store, so you can have uh, your storage space next to your office, which is also a big challenge, and so on and so forth. So we have like many of these projects, and we struggle to communicate so much
Yeah.
information, you know,
Yeah.
and make it accessible to people. What is the angle of the communication we need to use? Is it like a sustainability angle, or is it like the everything under one roof angle? Or is it the well-being angle now we're adding? So there's so much
Yeah.
going on that that we kind of multi-layered identity. So
And I mean, that's really interesting. Like maybe you could even write like a small book, like how you did it. Because as you said, it's for you guys, the sustainability component, first, it's part of your DNA, but you've done it with everything. And I think it's really important what you just said of like, it's not just about the environment, but it's about the people, it's about the economic factor of the space. So it's like a whole and it's everywhere in Transforma. So maybe for you as Anis, what would you say has been your biggest learning in the entire process of reaching where you are today?
Whoa, wow, so, there's so much to talk about. I would say energy, energy in the sense of feeding energy. Like the
Mm-hmm.
energy you need to develop these projects, energy you need to think, and energy you need to gather energy around you. So the team energy, the inspiration, and stuff like that. How you, if I learn personally, if I'm talking about myself, if I manage to learn how to uh, harness that component, which we don't talk about a lot. It's always kind of like left in the background, right? And I believe it's the most important part, especially in such a project that needs so much personal energy from the
Mm.
founders, from the team, because there's so much going on, and we don't have corporate backers, we don't have public backing, we don't have subsidies, so we need to think of the bottom line. We have to deal with our own shit, our own problems, go and find our own clients. We suffer from big competition from subsidized spaces and publicly managed spaces as well that propose lower prices, even though we're not, we don't definitely offer propose the highest pricing in the sector. Uh, so we have a lot of difficulties like this, which means um, it's a difficult project to manage. So if I that flowing level of energy was something I'm really paying attention to. Hence the well-being aspect of the program.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my biggest learning is like how to like how to make people follow you in some ideas and
Yeah.
inspire them to also be part of the project and not only be my project or me and my co-founders project, but everybody's project, whether it's the
Yeah.
team's project or the community project and so on and so forth. And so there is a balance to be found as well between the economic part. It's a business, it's not an NGO,
Yeah.
it's not funded, but at the same time, we have those values in our DNA that we don't want to lose. Uh, and so, like, what is the also what is your identity and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
all that, you know, melting pot of all that soup, let's say, and making it a tasty soup that is good for your
Yeah.
health, but also at the same time that you appreciate and you go like, this is nice, I want to eat this
Nice
soup.
sustainability recipe indeed.
Yeah, it is the learning process. It's learning how to cook that soup. That's
Yeah.
it's yeah, it goes all over the place pretty much.
Well, Anis, thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing everything you guys have been doing at Transforma when it comes to sustainability. I'm adding your website and the handle of your socials if people want to check it out in details. But also, I would invite everyone going in Brussels or being in Brussels to be curious enough and come push your doors, because I know that you
Yes.
also organize a lot of events and you do a lot of things. So there's definitely something people can learn if they have the chance to be in Brussels and to gravitate around you guys.
Thank you very much, Pauline. Have a good day.
Have a have a lovely sunny day in Brussels, and I hope to see you very soon then.
All right, take care. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right.